But yeah, let's do it.
This is live.
Hello, everybody. So we are live. Um, I'm hoping that everybody can see us. Is it very noisy? Can you hear lots of noise?
No.
No?
I can hear a little bit of noise, but it's not too noisy. It says I'm live on my Facebook. Let's have a
I
look.
can hear loads of noise. I wonder,
Oh,
I want,
you are
yeah,
sensitive
one
to noise
minute, 1 minute. No, it's not. It's not you. It might be Regina. Let's see. And it might be you too. Okay, we'll go with it and stuff and let's see. Oh, somebody's gone.
Oh,
Who's gone?
then. Oh, Regina's gone.
Is she
but she'll
back?
come back.
Oh,
She'll
she'll
come
come
back
back
in a bit, I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
stuff. There she is. There she is. She's coming back. Hello, everybody. If we have not seen you before, this is the panel. We're still trying to figure out our name, but we have been going live. I think this is our 8th week. Please comment below, say hello to us. We will see your messages. But let me just introduce ourselves. So we are joined by Rochelle Gilburn. Hello, Rochelle.
Hi.
What do you do, Rochelle? Let everybody
Let
know.
me tell you what I do. So, two things. Well, two main things. I help people to build property portfolios, and I help people to get visible on LinkedIn.
Brilliant. And we've got EJ McDougall. Hello. What do you do,
Hello, hello,
EJ?
hello.
Hello. What do you
What do I
do?
do? What do I
Yeah.
do? Stuff. A lot of stuff. But no, I'm a public speaker and I speak on issues around identity, equality, diversity, basically just about being a decent human being. So my typical speaking gig would involve me telling stories and basically picking lessons out from the stories, fairy tales, Greek mythology, that kind of stuff. But I also have a HR background, and I like to say that I'm a family court magistrate, which is something that I'm quite proud of. But that's me.
I'm proud of you for that as well. I mean, I'm proud of you for
Thank,
all stuff, but that I love. And
thank you.
Regina, our guest panelist who jumped in at last minute. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. So I'm the confidence healer. Essentially, I'm a visibility strategist. So I help businesses, especially those from marginalised communities, just get more comfortable being seen so they can grow their businesses.
And she's amazing, everybody. She's absolutely amazing. And my name is Victoria Dio. I am your host. I help you fall in love with your life by using intuitive strategies. I'll keep that short because mine's a long one. But we come in here this is our first time that we're streaming across everywhere. But we've been doing this for 8 weeks and we are loving it. This has been a dream of mine for a long time to have like a talk show with 3 other panelists, just to just talk about everything woman, from business to lifestyle to everything. And so far it's working really, really well. Do you want to know what we're talking about
Yeah,
today?
loving it.
Okay. So today, so what we do normally every week is we have a group and we sort of like have a natter and go, what we're going to talk about today. Today we've got 2 topics. So the first one is how you dress and who sets the rules. And I think we're all very quirky in our own way about how we dress. We don't follow the norm or anything, which I absolutely adore. And then also we're going to be seeing sort of like how that taps into someone who is in the public eye, Meghan Markle, because of all the publicity around her as well. I'm really passionate about it, more passionate than I thought I would be. So let's
Hmm.
talk about let's talk about dressing. Oh, let's go. I don't know. Let's go for EJ, because EJ, you've definitely got a style. Where does your inspiration come from, and how does that impact into the spaces that you go into?
I'm glad you think I have a style.
You do, you do, you do.
I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out. But when I grew up again in these talks, it always comes out. My Africanness always comes out because it's a huge part of my identity. So please bear with. But I grew up in a family where my mom and dad were on TV. So 7 o'clock, the 7 o'clock news was my mom every day. And And my dad is a PR person. And where I grew up in Nigeria, my dad is like the PR guru. So I grew up with this whole thing about, and those kind of things. And then we used to go to church, and I would wear my jeans and t-shirts to like choir practice, and people will say I'm going to hell because how dare you wear trousers into the house of God. So I've gone through quite a few phases of what
We're breaking up. Is it me
am I
or is
supposed to
it
wear
just
now?
EJ?
I think this is okay, but you don't think it's okay. So do I go with what weird? Can you
Can
still see
everybody
me?
hear
My screen went
EJ?
a bit weird.
I
All
think you're
okay?
having Wi-Fi. I think you're having Wi-Fi
I'm just.
issues. Can everybody hear
Can you still
EJ?
hear me?
We can
Yeah,
just about hear. I think
she's
it's
cutting out a
DJ's.
little
Am I?
bit.
You're cutting in and out. You might want to just sort out
Am
your
I?
Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay. I'll
Sort
probably
out
move
your
to a
Wi-Fi
different
and
part
then
of the
come back.
house.
Yeah, you move and
I'll move
I'll
up.
move
When I
over
finish,
to Rochelle.
yeah, when I finish saying what I'm saying, I'll go and come back.
We can't
Okay,
hear you.
perfect.
We can't hear you. So go and come back. Rochelle, talk to us about your talk to us about your what's it called?
My dress. So this is something I find difficult actually because my natural style is quite casual and laid back, and I love wearing my trainers. I love being quite like I suppose I dress quite sporty a lot of the time, leggings, jogging bottoms, and I am in the house most of the time, so I don't have to get dressed up very often. But when I do go out, I love to get dressed up and be all gaily, but still tend to wear my trainers. And that's just me. One thing I have found difficult is when I'm going to events like I was speaking at a networking event the other day, and I must have tried on at least like 10 outfits because I just couldn't decide what to wear. It was like when I wear what I feel comfortable in, I feel like people are going to be judging me because I look too casual. If I put something on that looks too nice, like I tried a dress on and you could see a bit too much cleavage, so then I was conscious of that. Then I tried something else on, it felt like it was too short, and something else that felt too dressy, and it's trying to fit in with the environment you go into. So I'd say one thing I have always been good at is not necessarily following the crowds. So
Yeah.
my closest group of friends are all I'd say they're all very fashionable. They've all always got like the latest trends on, and I've always been like a bit of a more of a black sheep of just going with my own style of what I want to wear when I want to wear it rather than following the trends. But even
Yeah.
saying that, it's quite funny. So the six of us, whenever we turn up to a place, we all tend to have similar colours on by accident.
That's
I
funny.
think it's one of those things where they say you like the people you spend the most amount of time with, and that does happen quite a lot.
That's hilarious. What about what a oh, I think somebody's coming in. Okay, what about you, Regina?
Oh, do you know, for me, my kind of dress has evolved very similar to EJ. I kind of grew up going to church with my nan, going to Sunday school, and being very prescriptive about what you can wear. You cannot wear trousers in the house of God, and you shouldn't be wearing makeup, and you shouldn't be doing all of these things. And yet, I was like, I can beat a face, right? If my face ain't beat when I'm going out, there's just no point. But I was the tomboy, so having to be dressed in like and it was the 80s, so you had the big collars.
Mm. I
and the,
love
and
the
the,
big color.
and the
Yeah, I
slip,
love them.
the underskirts, and all of that stuff. It was just hell for me. And so once I hit my teenage rebellious years, it was like jeans, and very much like you, Rachel, I'm a casual girl. If I'm at home, literally, I'm sat here now. I'm in a hoodie. I'm in some like sweatpants. That's literally what I wear when I'm at home. But if I'm out and about, I've kind of evolved into this version of me where I'm just like, I'm going to wear what is comfortable and what makes me feel beautiful. And because I'm not high heels aren't it,
No.
at all. High heels are absolutely not it. But if I can spend a little bit of money on some decent Air Max, then that's me. That's what makes. So it's like, what's going to make me feel peak confident? What's going to make me feel most beautiful? And sometimes it can be a beautiful Ankara skirt, and I can guarantee you I've got Air Max on underneath it. Right?
Love them.
I've got a
Love
pair
an
of trainers
Ankara
on
skirt.
underneath it. Sometimes it's just like a nice pair of jeans, but I will always have my beauty is always in how my face is beat and the quality of shoe on my foot, which is normally Nike.
Oh, I love that. EJ, you were saying, I didn't know that your parents were in media. Now it explains a lot. Carry on. Tell us about your dress style. EJ, you just need to, there you, I'll tell you what, Alon, there you go. You ready?
Can you unmute
You're
me?
unmuted. We can, you're unmuted.
Have you unmuted me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on
Your
with my stuff
Wi-Fi
today.
is so
Anyway, yes,
bad.
so my parents, so there was this pressure to look good all the time, even if looking good was not according to my definition of looking good, you know, and then obeying, oh, church said this, church didn't say that, the elders say this, the elders. So now as an adult, trying to figure out what I actually like. And also with a mom now, I'm a mom now. So the shape of my body has changed since I've had children. I'm quite tall. I'm 5'10". Regina, I'm the opposite. I have to have heels on. So I'm 5'10", but then I have to have heels on. So I look like a mountain walking around most of the time. So it is that thing for me. I think we're all now in that age where we're defining style for ourselves. So that's where I'm at, trying to figure it out. A big thing for me is if I like something, right, you will know I like it. Like there's this coat my sister made. It's in almost every picture for the last 4 years because I like it. But then there's this whole thing of, oh, you can't wear it twice or you wear it too. My mom used to say, if you like something, we all know, you wear it till it begs you to please, DJ, don't wear me today. So I'm still trying to sort of figure out.
Oh,
Can you hear us? I think she's gone. Okay. So let me just talk about from my perspective.
you're like the Queen of Fabulous.
Queen of Fabulous. I know, Queen of Fabulous. So do you know what? It's really funny when we talk about style. I only came into my style, I think, when I became anointed. Like it's been gradual. Like anybody who knows me, I used to be, God, I wish I could share pictures. So I used to be that person who I love shopping. I used to love shopping. So I had dresses and I wouldn't necessarily follow fashion, but I used to be a jeans girl. At one point, I really wanted to be like a tomboy. Then I went into really short skirts, like really embarrassingly short skirts. Yeah, I know. And then, does anybody remember FMBs? Are you all old enough to remember FMBs? It's like FMB, so F me boots. So you know, like the long boot. Yeah. So
Oh my God.
I know, I know.
I need to see photos.
This shows how old I am, right? So I remember when
It's
they first
fashionable again now.
they're coming. They have, but I remember
Get
when
them out.
they came out in the 90s and we all rushed to the shops to buy them and they're like you were lucky if you got a pair for 60 quid. Like they started at 60 quid upwards and stuff. And I remember having a pair and like really short skirts. And it's so funny because I was just looking at a picture before we came on of me climbing Kilimanjaro. And I did that about 8 years ago. And I look completely different. I've got black short trousers on and a black top. It doesn't look like me at all. And I'm like, wow, I'm so different. However, I remember around 2000 and I would say 15, I started wearing prints, but I would wear them with leggings and boots. And then gradually the boots came off and I'd wear them with flip flops. And then now that's all that's in my wardrobe. Like there's hardly anything normal at all. But I think people, I don't get judged about, I don't think I get judged. And when I say get judged, actually maybe I do get judged, but not, but positively and maybe not negatively, but I just turn up and I am me. I never, the one thing that nobody can ever say about me is that I pretend to be somebody else. I'm so me, like I'm so aligned to me that it's not a thing. And also everybody knows that I don't wear shoes. So I will walk into somewhere and kick off my flip-flops and I'm there barefoot and everything else. So for me, it's never been a thing, but it makes me that's so funny that EJ's come on twice. EJ, do you know you've come on twice? That's hilarious.
That's better. I'm on my phone, so it's
Oh, you're
clearer
on
now.
your phone. I see.
Yes.
I was wondering what you're trying to sort out. But if this conversation makes me think of, and we're going to segue into this, when people get criticized, because when I don't remember, I don't think I was asked too much to go to church in a certain way. I think, but it was almost like, I'm sure if I wore something with cleavage, my parents would have had something to say. But let's lean into sort of like the Meghan Markle sort of this world, and not just her, but I really want to talk about her, especially around what's going on at the moment. When she got engaged, she didn't wear tights, and it was a huge thing. It was
Who
like,
noticed that? How do you know she didn't? You like what? How do you notice that?
Why were your
Oh my
arms that
word!
close to her legs? Like, why were you that close to
Why?
them?
yeah,
Well, that's the problem. That's the question we need to be asking. What were you looking for?
the press. The press were like, she ain't wearing tights. And I think it's that whole scrutiny thing where you're trying to have a go at somebody, but you're not trying to figure out. And I'll tell you what, us women are the worst for it. I don't
Oh
think
yes.
men really care, but I think with women, it's that whole thing where I'm going to take my glasses off to make sure that you get to see like a woman will walk in and you'll see a woman go,
Yeah.
and go,
Yep.
have you seen what she's wearing? Like
Yep.
it's atrocious, and it's just like, why don't we just let women in their individuality? One of the things I love about this panel is that we're all so different. We don't look alike. Like we don't talk alike. We're so different. Like you couldn't make it up. And I think that with Meghan, and I wonder if with Meghan it was her style or who they wanted to portray her to be. What do you think, Rochelle?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not as invested into this story as what you are, but from what I've seen, she doesn't seem like she can do anything right. And we've talked about this before in other weeks about you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You can't please all of the people all of the time, but there does seem to be some sort of hate campaign out to get her. I was thinking about another person who I'd be, for some reason, completely not about Meghan Markle, but Katie Price keeps popping up on my Facebook, and the comments underneath the post on are just horrendous. And like, you might have your opinion on how she looks and what she's done to herself and the surgery and all these kind of things, but that's her body, it's her person. She's not harming anybody else. And I think the same goes for Meghan Markle. They're not causing anyone else any trouble. So why are people feeling like they can say all these horrendous things? And what I've always found with social media, I always compare it to like when you're driving in your car and someone cuts in front of you, and people who, like, if someone bumped into you in the street, like when you were walking, you'd be like, oh, sorry. But when you're in your car and you've got this metal thing surrounding you, you feel like you're protected, and like you can say what you want and you can swear at them and put your fingers up at them and just like be a different version of of yourself. And I feel like keyboard warriors get this. They feel like that's not a real person on the other side, and all of a sudden they've got this artificial confidence where they can just have a go at other people for the way that they look. And I don't think it's necessarily about the person the person on the receiving end of it. I think it's about everyone just being kinder and realizing that these people, they might see your comment and they might feel the hate from everyone, and you can have an opinion, but you don't have to be so horrible about it and so judgmental.
Regina, what do you think?
Do you know what? I just think that she could have done no right. Had she wore the tights, they would have found something else.
Yeah.
They're just looking for something, and she was always going to be judged on something. There were like moments where apparently she'd worn the wrong colour, or apparently she'd run the wrong type of fabric. I'm just like, do you know what? He wasn't marrying her because she was exactly the same as everybody else in his family. Like, so she came in, and I think the issue was that she has her own brand, her own style. Like, how dare she go against the norm by having her own brand and her own style? And who are we to tell her what to wear? She didn't turn up dressed like, she wasn't dressed immodest. But even if she was, but like,
do you think? So I know we've talked about Katie Price, And Casey's had a running riot with the press. Do you think Meghan's was because she's a woman? Do you think it's to do with race? Do you think it's, what do you think?
I think it's all of it. I think that the society, the press especially, has an element of ownership, right? Ownership. There's an element of ownership over the royal family as a whole. She comes in, they feel like they own her too. We're going to own you as well. So you have to behave in a particular way in order for us to do so. But there's also quite a heavy judgment on, especially those of us who are Black women. We're always expected to be put together at all times, right? And I feel like it's an issue within our community as well, because I love those girlies who are just out and about and they're in Tesco with their bonnet on. And I'm like, do you, boo? Like, oh my God, I wish I could, because I don't want the side eye like that you get from other people, and they've got like full body, full head scarf, and I'm just like, she's got like 0 F's for this. She's come to get her bread and she's gone home, right? Whereas I'm like, let me just make sure.
Yeah.
There's almost a higher standard, like for us Black women as well. I have literally seen women sat in Asda, like in their dressing gowns, waiting for the taxi to come and pick up their stocking, and I feel like, if only. But
don't you dare! If you ever,
a man can walk in with his butt cheeks hanging out. I've seen some men like dressed horrendously, butt cheeks hanging out, bent over a shelf, and I'm just like, my guy. Nobody even thinks about it, but we've got to be at some level of put together at all times. And I just feel like the standard's higher for us as Black women. We're always supposed to be put together at all times.
I agree. I think there is that expectation. Like as Black people, the Black community don't help themselves, because I remember sort of, if I say to my mom, "Oh, I'm popping to the shop," she'll be like, "Have you had a shower?" I said, "I'll have a shower when I come back." To my mom, it's like you're going to the shops without a shower. Like, how? Like, why would you do that? And it's just like, yeah. Any take on that, EJ?
Yeah, Meghan Markle. I have 3 things to say. First of all, she didn't fit into their box. That is the problem. Because she refused. I mean, we tell our young girls all the time. We tell all our women, we tell everybody, be authentically you. Don't do what other people say. Don't fit into their box. She didn't fit into their box, and everybody has a problem with it. Now, all of a sudden, they've now brought out all sorts of, oh, she's a bully. Oh, her dad this. Oh, her dad that. But then I can bring other celebrities, the ones that I know of, and put them next to her. They've done worse. Yeah, but no. Oh, he's a lovable rogue, isn't he? Oh, it's just who she is. Well, she didn't fit into their box. That's the first thing. Second thing, Black woman, soft life. Sorry, what? How dare you?
Black woman, soft life.
You know, we're supposed to be. You know,
that's what I'm aiming for.
Sis, that is the dream. You know, Black woman, soft life. She's cooking, she's making jam, she's married to a prince. Oh my goodness. They cannot handle it, because the picture that they want of us, Black women, is aggressive, loud, you know, and like I said, she's not fitting into their box. If it's money, she has money. If it's the prince that we are all young girls say, oh, my prince will come someday, hers came. And it's just messing with everybody's minds at the moment. They will get over it eventually. Don't worry. They'll be fine, because there's many of us coming behind her. This Black woman soft life thing is a thing now. That's what we're about. In terms of us, you know, always having to be together, I'm the same. Have you showered? This is when my parents are here. Yes, I've showered. You don't look like you have. You know, your face. So that standard, that thing of always having to look a certain way. There are people in my children's school who must think that the person who takes the children to school in the morning is different from the person who picks them up in the afternoon. Because in the morning, I look like I was dug up. Yeah. Because at one time, I thought maybe this would be my New Year's resolution, to try and just come together in the morning and look human to drop them off at school. I can't. So when I drop them off at school, I know just look, I look dead. I look like I haven't seen water in a while. Don't worry. But when I come to pick those children up, Then I have parents walking up to me to say, and one lady said to me, "You always look so stunning." I saw her that morning.
Oh, okay. So
I
she
don't
didn't
think she knew
recognize
it was
it. She
me.
didn't, she
That's the
didn't-
difference.
or maybe what you think isn't put together is put together in other people's eyes, right?
I promise you, Vic.
So let me take this. Let's forget about Meghan now. So we've talked about Meghan, we've talked about dressing. I want to take this into the business and in the workplace. So in general, where there's people that we've seen, we either criticize them for their dressing or maybe they just don't fit in. And the trolls are actually your colleagues,
Mm.
where you're being put down and you're being made to feel really crappy. Have you got any examples of that? Because I really want to talk on that topic.
I haven't got any examples of that, but what I was thinking when we were talking about how to dress and things like, I'm a big fan of The Apprentice. I don't know if any of you
Yeah,
you
oh,
watch
yes.
it. I always see them on there, and they always look so glamorous in like the suits and the heels. And I think, oh, I'd love to be on The Apprentice one day, and then I'd be like, oh, I won't be able to wear those outfits. I'd look horrendous. Like, I won't be able to walk in those heels. I wouldn't fit in with that crowd of like well dressed, suited and booted people. So it's that like intimidation. I guess like working for myself, I can wear what I want, but if I was to go and work in a workplace, or if I was going to certain meetings where maybe they expect me to be dressed a certain way, I don't feel like I would fit in, and I probably would feel more self-conscious than I should do. But I have, like, when I worked in an office before, I dressed nicer than I do now, but I still wore like flat shoes and maybe didn't fit into that ideal of what a successful businesswoman should look like.
Yeah. What about you, EJ?
Well, I've worked in an office all my life, still do, and it's in the civil service. And when I first came from Nigeria, because in Nigeria we're very strict with the way we dress, everybody looks perfect all the time. And friends that have come with me to Nigeria have always commented on the way people dress. So when I first came here, going to church, going to work, I would wear my absolute best. I'll never forget going for an interview, and the interview was basically walking around the streets of Liverpool trying to sell lipstick and eyeshadow, right? Because I was desperate for a job and I did not know I was going to be walking for like 10 hours in my freaking heels. I wore this suit. I looked ridiculous because the person who is walking with me trying to shove this lipstick in people's faces and stuff like that, he didn't make an effort. And here I am looking like I'm about to walk on some runway. And so the comments I always felt like I was overdressed. And now within the civil service and many places of work, they're so relaxed now. Come as you are. Bring your true self to work. Bring your true self to work. Be your authentic 100% self. Bring, dear, oh dear, oh dear. I love it because to me, I just find it fascinating. Think you came to work like that? That's amazing. I like it for you because I could never.
That's so funny.
So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I do want to quickly say something about, because you said the trolls are your colleagues. Yeah, the trolls are your colleagues. And what I want to say to anybody who's listening is, if you are trolled for the way you look, it's because they couldn't find anything else. Yeah. And that doesn't mean your style is bad. It doesn't mean your style is wrong. It's that once people have to focus on appearance, it's because there was nothing else for them to criticize. It was not in your competence. It was not in, the work that you do. They couldn't find any faults. So they had to point at something that is so subjective. If I like the way I look, then the rest of you can go to hell. That's my stance now. It's difficult because of my background, but I'm having to remember, if what they point at is the way I look, that's actually a backward compliment, to be honest.
Yeah. I find a lot of people.
Go on. Sorry, Rochelle. No, go on.
People, when they're commenting on something about other people, it's because of their insecurities. Like if you're insecure about the way that your arms look in tops, or you're insecure about the size of your legs, then you're more likely to notice it in other people. And then when other people, like if you don't like showing your legs because you don't particularly like your legs, but someone else with legs that you perceive might be worse than yours are then showing them off without tights and in a short skirt, you're like, how dare they be so confident as to go out and be dressed this way? And then you start picking up on those insecurities in other people.
Yeah. Regina, what did you want to say?
I worked in a casual office for nearly 20 years. And there are ups and downsides to casual office, because there was almost a perception that the higher up the chain that you got, the more kind of corporate that you had to dress. So people who were kind of on the shop floor in the contact center was almost like a plethora of like some fashion show. So you'd have like the groups, you'd have like the kids who are a little bit more roadman, who came in they're like their best trainers and they're like, you know, their little snaps and all of that stuff. And then you'd have the casual dads over here, the loosest of jeans that they could. But the only times that really people were ever pulled up on what they were wearing is if it got too casual. So we were like, no tracksuit bottoms. There was a no flip-flops, which ruins me in summer, because I'm like, once you hit 30, your feet swell up in summer. Right? Let's face it, so I'm going to be wearing some flip-flops, because actually, and then there'd be moments where a girl's outfit was deemed a little too risque. And I was always of the view, firstly, I think she looks absolutely beautiful. She obviously feels beautiful. And unless we can see body parts, I don't see what the issue is here. But like on reflection, that was always about the male gaze. It was always about trying to convert that male gaze. And I'm just like, we all had these moments. And you touched on this, Victoria, about the moments where you're kind of exploring your body, where you're just like, I had these moments where sometimes I'm like, this looks amazing, I'm going to have this on show, right? It's for me. And like, she's clearly doing that for her. She's clearly doing that because she feels just so lovely, and her, you know, her chest wasn't out, it was just a little bit more of a V-neck than we're used to seeing. I thought she gets pulled into the office and like, we need to dress more modestly, and I was just like, where does it say that in the handbook? Actually. And so there was a very clear difference on how the women were expected to dress versus how the men were expected to dress. The men couldn't come in looking too trampy in a pair of tracksuit bottoms. And actually, now we look at tracksuit bottoms. I was looking at tracksuit bottoms the other day, and like Adidas have got some really nice like tracksuit bottoms. I'm like, I could wear those to an event. Can you imagine? I wouldn't be able to wear that in that casual office because they're tracky bottoms and they're seen as too casual. But I'm like, but wear those with a nice chunky trainer. It'd look divine.
See, I think the whole dress thing, the whole bullying, what I call bullying or trolling, whatever you want to call it. Simon Sinek said something the other day. He said, whatever somebody's complaining about, it's never about that thing. And I completely believe it and stuff. There's always something else going on, and that's just the thing that just pushes you over the edge, and you feel like, I'm going to talk about that, and it's almost like a deflection from what's actually happening with you. I also want to just take it to a different level, which is, if we could use the energy that we have, and that we use to focus on other people and how other people haven't met our standards, apparently, because to be fair, a lot of the time when we have a go, it's normally we actually have lower standards than even the person we're criticizing. But if we actually just bottled up that energy and put it towards something that would serve us and others, the world would be a completely different place. And then also there's that thing where I always say to people, look at your life. If your life's not going well, ask yourself, where have you sort of like focused on somebody else? And maybe whether you're bullying them, whether you're slagging them off, whatever it is, where are you doing that? Because everything is energy. I can't keep on coming back to this enough. If I'm having a go at somebody, it is always going to come back and bite me. Always. It will always come back and bite me. And you're going to see that in different ways. Maybe you wake up one morning and things just aren't going right. Maybe you wake up and, I don't know, it's like little things that you may not even associate with karma. that are karmic, and it's something that we need to be really, really careful of. And also the fact that even if somebody doesn't hear you when you're having a go at them, it does affect them. It affects them energetically, it affects them emotionally, it affects them physically. You'll never know how it affects them, but it does. So I think the message from this is just be kind. Be
Yeah.
kind. It's okay if somebody doesn't wear tights. It's okay if we all dress differently. And do you know what? You don't need to compliment somebody if they're wearing something that you don't like. You can just say hello and keep walking and stuff. It's like listen, I sometimes look at people and go, what are you wearing? But I'll never go to them, what are you wearing and stuff. I'll just look at it and go, that's your style, and keep walking past and stuff. It's like, and guess what? You walk past them and then you forget about them, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. We're entitled to our opinions, aren't we? But we don't have to make other people feel bad because we don't agree with what they're
We don't.
wearing or
Yes.
doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know the example you used before, Rochelle, about Katie Price? Because she pops up on my social media as well. And I will be honest, because I haven't seen her in a few years. So recently, when she's been popping up, I have been so shocked. And of course, you run to the comments to go and see, am I the only one that thinks, like, I've not seen her? I didn't realize there's been such a drastic change. But the comments that you see on there, these are the same people that will be shouting, be kind, be kind. Caroline Flack, remember Caroline Flack, be kind, be kind. But the comments on there are so unnecessary. Like you say, have your opinion. We all have different styles. We all would be lying if we said we like the way everybody looks or we had no opinions about stuff. But if we remember to come from a place of compassion, and I have to keep reminding myself to, how do I see this through the eyes of love? Because there are times where you really want to go and be the troll, maybe because you feel that person deserves it. Because some people, talking about Meghan Markle, some of them feel like she deserves what she's getting. But how do I see this through the eyes of love? Is what pushed Katie Price, using her as an example. If she's loving it, fantastic. She's made decisions that she feels are best for her and her children. Great. Is she hurting anybody? Not to my knowledge, she's not. You know, if she is in a place where she's not happy with the outcome of the surgery, then oh my goodness, I feel for her. Well, how do you see things from the eyes of love? And if you are not trying to be compassionate, if you're not trying to be coming from a positive space, then the problem is you. Why are you choosing to be anything other than compassionate?
Right. Well, I think we've expanded that as much as we can. We're going to stay on a bit longer, but I think we should end it whilst we're on a high. We will see you next week, ladies. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Let us know if there are any topics you want us to touch on. Also, let us know if you want to be considered as a guest panelist, because sometimes some of us can't make it. Actually, are we around? I don't think we're around next week because some of us are actually on the road. I'm on the road, but you guys might decide to come. Yeah, you're on the road and stuff. So we might give it a miss next week, but we'll be back the week after. We'll let you know what happened because we're going to be at the big festoon. 3 of us are anyway on here. I'm going to be at the big festoon. EJ can't make it.
I'm missing out this year.
Yeah,
I'm missing out this year. I know. That's where we usually meet, isn't it? That's where I met you both.
Yes, that's where we met. Oh my goodness.
That's where I met both of you, and I'm missing it this year.
Yeah.
Before, this is my first time, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you're in for a treat, Rochelle. You really are. You're in for it's a community. I'll be honest, it's the first community that I've seen because I'm quite new to this space. So it's the first, because I spoke, didn't I? You and I shared a stage, Vic, and it's the first community that I've sort of seen and stayed with. It's been nearly 3 years now, girls. Nearly 3 years. Can you believe it?
We're both guest speakers, weren't we? We're both guest keynote speakers. 2022, I think it was
November. Yeah,
I can't believe that. Like when I say 2022,
that's where I met you both.
Yeah, that's where you met us. And Regina's part of the flight squad.
Yeah,
and stuff.
So you'll see me as you come in.
So she's going to be, I'm exhibiting there this time round. Rochelle's going to be part of the audience. So we're all playing different roles this time round. And what have you. It's going to be
take
2
lots
days.
of pictures, please.
EJ, that means we're going to have to find a way to meet up because I feel like I see you at least
Oh,
every
don't you
year.
worry about that. I'm coming to Birmingham soon, so I'm sure I'll see
Let me
you.
know.
I
There you
will.
go.
May. I'll be there in May. So don't worry. We'll definitely meet up.
We'll sort something at some point. I'm sure we'll all sort something out and stuff. But have a great week. Let us know what topics you want us to touch on here. I will also include our YouTube channel because there's previous recordings that you may have missed out on, but we're always going to be on here from now on. And I think it's worked really well because I've seen some of you commenting and also some of you just saying hello as well. So thank you. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.